Hey y'all, it's Marissa. We're poolside on the sofa here in Port Charlotte. And one of my friends was asking me about the murder house. And I was like, you know what? I should just make a video about this. Alright, so let's see. The murder house actually started off as a dream I was in New Orleans. And I don't know, New Orleans is just known for like weird dreams and shit like that. There's a lot of like witchy stuff going on and occultism and whatever. So anyways, I had this dream, and I mean the dream was like the short version. It was just like the basic idea of the first book, which is Murder House, which is a trilogy. It became a trilogy. Yeah, I know it's not out yet, okay? But you'll figure it out, okay? So, yeah. So the Murder House started out as a dream, and in my dream it was like this girl was like in college or something maybe, and she saw these people that would like go into the house and not come out, and she started like asking around, and people are like, oh, it's just the murder house, it's an art thing, it's all good. And then, of course, coming to find out, it's not just an art thing. But the twist of this comes with, I'm going to blame Matt on this. Matt Lefevre. Hi. I'm going to blame him because he was asking me about Schrodinger's cat while I was writing this book. And, yeah, it's a theory in quantum physics. And so it just, like, it became a theme within the book, okay? And then, as we're writing it, we start talking about, like, angels and demons and all this other, like, stuff. And it just kind of came out in the book. So, what had started off as a dream kind of got twisted by conversations in reality that just, like, come out as I'm writing this book. And when I wrote it, I thought it was a standalone, because I brought in, you know, like I said, angels and demons, Lilith, all this good Kabbalah-esque stuff. So if you're not hip to Kabbalah, it's like it's a offshoot branch, I guess, of Jewish. It's like it's cool. All right, let's just say it's got some interesting theories. And I'd heard some of these things, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I'm gonna riff on that. And it's no way, shape, or form Kabbalah. Let me just clarify that. But some of the stuff that they talk about is kind of what influenced me. And I guess the concept of, you know, I was raised Catholic. So it's like when I hear Adam and Eve, it's like, here's the story of Adam and Eve. It's just them. They're like the mother and father type thing that just sprouted off all these children, populated the earth, so to speak. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. But some of my Jewish friends are like, well, you know, it's not just, they're kind of more like a fable. Like in our religion, there wasn't just, well, like one life and death. Like there's multiple times when they died and learned their lesson. And, you know, there's stories that go along with the Garden of Eden. And, you know, so they're like, it's not just a one death, you're done type situation. And I'm like, oh, you know, so this just kind of cracked the door open into kind of my thought process. And I realized that I kind of venture away from some of the typical religious, and it's not a religious story by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, the Bible thumpers would probably be like, oh my God, you... Ah! Okay, so, yeah, just let's not call it religious, because it's not. Like, it's definitely shock value, as is, like, a lot of my stuff. Like, if you haven't read it before, nothing new here, people. But the new vision of Murder House, or the second form, the second part of the trilogy, when I wrote it, I didn't even realize it was going to tie back to the Murder House. I started writing it, and I kind of like, again, it just kind of started. Was it another dream? I don't even know. I think it might have been another dream influenced one on that one. Anyways, you know, you see some of my real estate influence because I do real estate in Michigan and Florida. So you see some of that come out in like the home design. I'm like, oh, I was lapis lazuli, my favorite. Oh, I love the blue and the gold. Yeah, I know Michigan colors and whatnot, but still, it's a pretty stone. Any hoodles. Yeah. You definitely see some of my real estate influence come out in that book. I think more so than a lot of my other books, because it's basically a girl who gets lured to an island to do some designs, or so she thinks. But the island is a game, and the game, people don't always know that they're playing. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, and they pay extra for this, basically to be able to do like their biggest, darkest fantasies and desires. And so sometimes it's sexual, sometimes there's like murder fantasies, or whatever you can think of, like literally whatever you can think of, it comes true, or you get to experience it. And it's like, do you want to kill or be killed? You know, that's the choice you have to make. Do you want to be a killer, or do you want to be a victim? Some people, you know, are ready to be a victim, whatever. And honestly, that influence kind of came from, I was watching one of my friends play a video game